Hello and a very warm welcome to India Development Debate tonight. I'm Vikram, and though I'm in Mumbai, of course the big story is in the national capital in Delhi, where the Aam Aadmi Party has done a hat trick. It's won the elections.
दिल्ली वालों गजब कर दिया आप लोगों ने I love you आज मेरी वाइफ का जन्मदिन भी है आज मंगलवार है हनुमान जी ने दिल्ली पे कृपा बरसाई है
Big celebrations over in the AAP camp. The Aam Aadmi Party has won the Delhi elections in style. Since it's Valentine's week, we saw Arvind Kejriwal begin that victory speech with an I love you to the people of Delhi. Befitting for a leader who seems to have won the hearts of Delhi with a big sweep of that jhadu, which is of course the electoral symbol of the Aam Aadmi Party. So the question to ask is this victory a yay vote by the people of the national capital for development and a big no to national and perhaps even nationalistic issues like the CAA and Shaheen Bagh? So on India Development Debate tonight, let's take this up with Narendra Taneja of the BJP, with Nilanjan Sirkar, who is a senior visiting fellow at the Center of Policy Research, also an assistant professor at the Ashoka University, and political commentator Tejas Mehta joins us on the show as well. But Nilanjan, let me come to you first. In your opinion, is this verdict a vote for development against what many people have called divisive politics? Is the Bijli, Sadak, Paani agenda getting rated higher in this election than Shaheen Bagh and the Citizenship Amendment Act? So what exactly is your reading of AAP's rather convincing victory after an almost clean sweep the last time around as well?
See, almost certainly it's a vote for governance, it's a vote for delivery. If we look at the recent Chief Minister, Sheila Dixit, Kejriwal, they have used delivery and infrastructure and services as their planks, right? And the BJP has actually been out of power for quite a long time in BJP, in Delhi, and doesn't really have a governance plank to stand on. So that's been a real challenge for them. Delhi is a unique place. It's a city-state. It's a state that has more migrants than non-migrants, right? Most people are born outside of Delhi. It's really a place of colonies, and this sort of standard sort of homespun identity-based politics that works in other places doesn't work in a place like Delhi. And I think, just the recent elections, not just Kejriwal's election, but even Sheila Dixit before that, shows that with quite a bit of clarity. So I think it is a vote for governance, but I think we should also be clear that Delhi is a very different kind of place. What works in Delhi may not work in a place like Uttar Pradesh, for instance, where we do believe identity-based calculations matter quite a bit, even in state elections.
Sure. No, fair enough. I mean, that point I'm going to come to in a moment. I just want to get in first reactions. Mr. Taneja, coming to you. When the BJP had come to power in Delhi in the general elections, it was back in 2014, it was on the back of a strong development agenda. I'm just wondering if that agenda has been lost between then and now, and is that the reason why we are seeing such a poor performance by the party in Delhi after the kind of reversals we've seen in Jharkhand and Rajasthan? Even if we discount Maharashtra, I mean, is the electorate actually punishing the BJP for letting go of its focus on development?
Well, first of all, the evening today belongs to the Aam Aadmi Party, and our congratulations to them and the best wishes. And we will play the role of a responsible opposition party in Vidhan Sabha and outside Vidhan Sabha. And wherever we think that they are working for the people, for the development, we will be with them. You see, what we basically promised to the people, and that was our focus entirely. Our focus was basically to bring development back in Delhi. The last five years, we have seen Delhi emerging as among the most polluted cities in the world. Water, not very contaminated water, not drinkable. You know, the condition of road, absolutely pathetic. They talked about education revolution, but on the ground, there is no such thing. They talked of a Mohalla clinic. We come there, there's a lot of halla gulla, but there is no such thing. So we had gone to the people only on one thing: development, to bring development back to Delhi and mainstream Delhi, you know, as far as the development is concerned. But Delhi has suffered the last 5 years. I'm a voter of Delhi. I'm a resident of Delhi. I'm not, unlike many other people from Aam Aadmi Party and others, who are not actually part of Delhi. We're not, you know, so I know the city very well. And I'm talking as a very responsible citizen of the city. The point here is that now, if that's the mandate in democracy, we respect that. And that's the mandate of the people. So we respect that. But at the same time, we also worry a little bit as a Delhi resident. Not as a BJP leader, as a Delhi resident, I'm worried because 5 years we have been pushed behind by at least 2 decades. So what is there in store for us, Delhi residents, in the next 5 years? I understand that those people living in certain parts of Delhi, they probably, when you say Mufat ka Bijli, Mufat ka Paani, Mufat ka sab kuch, well, they might come and vote for you. But is that development? Is that a sustainable development? So those are the questions. We went back to the people. We went to the people with very solid, sustainable development agenda.
If you're
from
saying,
short term to
Mr.
medium term to
Taneja,
long
that
term.
this
We
election
wanted
of the
Delhi-
BJP from the campaign point of view was fought on a development agenda, then perhaps you might have to agree that it has been lost on that agenda as well. So clearly, the majority of residents of Delhi are not convinced that the kind of problems you are highlighting are actually true. Tejas, how do you read into BJP and what we're hearing from Mr. Taneja, that it was always development for Delhi, and what the AAP has done has actually taken Delhi back a couple of decades, like Mr. Taneja is saying?
Is what is the development of the Aam Aadmi Party of Arvind Kejriwal? Now, the BJP would like to call it freebies of subsidies which are not sustainable. My question is the opposite. Was free gas connections, was that really sustainable for all of India, which the central government gave to the people of India? And it worked for the BJP on 2 counts. First of all, it was the entire policy itself worked on the ground for the people, for the women of India, for the families of India. And they honored Mr. Modi back with a big thank you in the terms when the election came, they voted for him. One of the key reasons was certainly, the fact that, free gas connections were given to them. So was that a freebie or was that a socialist welfare scheme? I would call that a welfare scheme of the Narendra Modi government. Likewise, when you're giving free, Bijli, you're giving free transportation, free water up to a limit, these are welfare social schemes. Remember, the key issue when the differentiation between a welfare scheme and a freebie is the fact that does it ultimately affect the budget, the fiscal deficit of the state's economy or not? And I don't think that has really affected either, it has not certainly affected the Aam Aadmi Party's government in Delhi. So, I mean, we do know that the central government's, fiscal deficit is now 3.54. So, I mean, how are you going to view this? I think both have to be seen from the prism of, has it really been, a policy which has worked on the ground for the people? I think they have. So I think in both cases, I would call them welfare schemes. And as long as they work for the people of India, I think they should be welcome. We are seeing in Maharashtra what's happening now, that they are saying, once again, copying the scheme of 100 units, 200 units, which the Arvind Kejriwal government has implemented all these.
So the possibility of this getting replicated elsewhere because of the thundering victory that AAP has won today is perhaps looming large, and perhaps BJP needs to take away those lessons. That point, would you concede at least that much, Mr. Taneja, about the budget, which has been in surplus as far as Delhi is concerned? So the freebies actually work out as social welfare, and that's something that many state governments should try and aim for. Wouldn't you agree with that?
No. You see, you have to look at the revenues of the Delhi government. This is the richest, half-state government in the country. But where the money comes from, bulk of the money that Delhi government actually gets is either collected by the central government or it is coming from the, projects, corporates, companies, business activities of the central government. So 90% of the money that they get and the use for freebies is thanks to the central government. That's what it is. I mean, name one project which they have initiated, one power plant that they have initiated, one scheme that they have initiated, one scheme to bring, drinkable water to the resident. They have done nothing. Combating pollution, they don't even have a vision. Forget about the document. So here we are basically talking about, you go to the people, because people keep migrating into Delhi all the time, and many of them, for them 200 rupees or 200 watt electricity and all that is a lot. Unit electricity is a lot. So basically you are using this kind of comparing that.
Was not a freebie and a welfare scheme.
Can I finish? I don't do tutu meme.
No, fair enough.
I don't
If
do
you finished
tutu
your
meme.
point,
If
I'd
we have
like
a
to take that
civilized
back to
debate, I'm
Tejas
here.
for a rebuttal, if that is possible. So if you've, Mr. Taneja, if you finished your point, I'll take it
Yeah.
back to Tejas.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tejas.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm saying is comparing with national fiscal deficit plans and all that, for that matter, with Ujjwala, we didn't give any. We basically help people get the connection. After that, there is they have to pay. There is, of course, a subsidy LPG cylinder. The same goes for electricity and all that. Those are the schemes which are very sustainable. We help people to basically get into it, and after that, so that they are in a position to contribute to national economic growth. Those are not freebies. What they have done here, I'm a resident of Delhi and I know it. They basically are saying that we are Santa Claus, and here you have,
Yes.
From our back, and all that money comes from the central government.
So what you're
It's
saying
schemes of the
is that
central
whatever
government. It's,
schemes, if at
initiatives
all
of the
they are
central
working
government.
or
Work that
even
the
not
central
working in
government has
Delhi,
done.
is
So-
because the central government has created these schemes. Tejas, what would you say to that?
When as far as Delhi's economy is concerned, the central government does have is certainly pumping in a lot of money. There is no denying that. My own larger point is, as economists, people would be seeing as a business channel, you would be looking at ultimately at the fiscal deficit in the state itself, whether it is surplus or not.
Yes.
That is the key issue.
Right.
Yes, that could the argument. I agree with Ms. Taneja at one point that has infrastructure development really happened in Delhi? It has not really happened at the same level which happened in Sheila Dikshit's time. Even say, for example, simple thing like buses. I mean, there were 9,000 buses in Sheila Dikshit's time. The Kejriwal government did tell its people that we will increase these buses, but still significant amount have not really been increased. Just before the election, about 250, 300 buses really came in. So yes, these are issues which are problematic, and at the Kejriwal government, the Aam Aadmi Party will have to consider that how are they going to improve the infrastructure of Delhi at the end of the day.
Yes.
But yes, I will stand on my point that if the people are wanting to talk and are voting on the issues of Bijli, Sadak, Paani, and if other governments are looking at the schemes of Arvind Kejriwal, something seems to have certainly worked.
Yes.
Otherwise, the BJP would have, been the other alternative, because the Congress was just not there. BJP would have been the alternative the people would have chosen for.
Yes, indeed. So that's exactly the point that I started out by making to Mr. Taneja as well. But also, Nilanjan, in your opinion, how much did the lack of a chief ministerial face hurt the prospects of the BJP this time? In contrast, you had a Kejriwal, who in a sense is being viewed as larger than the party, perhaps just like Modi was in Gujarat at one time, or what a Naveen Patnaik is to his state. Is Kejriwal also emerging, in your opinion, as the mini Modi of Delhi now because of that development agenda that he seems to have embarked on and on which he's garnered the kind of votes he has?
Absolutely. I mean, when we talk about charismatic politics, it's something that cuts both ways. At the national level, Modi has no match. But at the state level, often the BJP does not have a charismatic leader who can match a charismatic regional face, whether that be Mamta, whether that be Sharad Pawar, whether that be Naveen Patnaik, whether that be Arvind Kejriwal, and we've seen what impact that's had on state elections. The other thing that I would say, and this is an important point about how the BJP functions, this phase of the BJP is interested in centralizing power in the top in the party, and that is Modi and Amit Shah. And in order to do that, they are actually willing to sacrifice factions, strong state, regional leaders. We've seen state after state, they haven't necessarily invested in their regional party or charismatic face because they don't want factionalism in the party. It reminds me a lot of how Indira Gandhi behaved in the late 60s and early 70s. A real push to centralize the party, a charismatic leader who has no match at the center, and perhaps the use of state institutions to be able to stifle or bully the opposition rather than building strong regional units which may create more factionalism in the party?
Mr. Taneja, you want to take on that? Because as we see it, the BJP had a lot at stake over here. We saw the party put its entire might behind this election, the might of the massive electoral bonds in the kitty of the BJP. It was a huge war chest, getting the biggest faces across the country to campaign, of course, led by the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, and yet drawing a very weak result for itself. Does this in a way resurrect the power of regional parties and regional leaders and what they can do to really help benefit people directly, something that the BJP does want to do when it comes to the center. But has that promise not gone through this time, despite all the might of the BJP being put into the Delhi elections this time?
No. You see, first of all, we've got to understand and realize one thing. We take every election very seriously. Wherever we go, we are in an election, that's how we work. For you, they may be a cabinet minister, high-profile minister. For us, he or she is just a karyakarta. That's it. That's how we look at it. You are a karyakarta. We have elections. Please go there. You may be a cabinet minister or a chief minister or a member of parliament or whosoever. That's not how we look at it. That's how we always function. Internally, everyone is just a karyakarta. Once you come to the party headquarters, you know, the person may be chief minister or cabinet minister. That's not how we look at them. For us, he's just a karyakarta. He's one of us. Period. That's it. So that's why people look upon that this way. At Delhi, our vote share has gone up. So yes, we concede that we have not won the election and we congratulate Aam Aadmi Party. But the fact remains at the same time, this criticism, they say it's a very centralized party. I'm a senior leader of the party. I'm a national spokesperson. There is no truth in it. In fact, all decision making in Bharatiya Janata Party is very centralized. I mean, one is entitled to his views, but to say that there are no regional leaders, what about Devendra Fadnavis? Are you saying that he's not a tall leader of Maharashtra today? And Yogi Adityanath, are you saying Yogi Adityanath, basically waits for instructions from Delhi and only then he functions? No truth in it. The same goes for Yediyurappa ji in Karnataka and so many other leaders.
But you didn't have one in Delhi, Mr. Taneja. Didn't that hurt the prospects of the BJP not having a face for the Delhi elections?
Let me answer it. You see, the point is, in some places we go for a candidate like in Haryana, in Maharashtra election last time, we didn't have any face. Even in Uttar Pradesh, did we have any face? Did you project any face? We didn't. And Yogi ji is doing a fantastic job there now. But if you say that whether, let's say the Sushma ji's absence, Arun Jaitley's absence, they're both veteran leader of Delhi. The people who knew Delhi inside out. I mean, their absence. Did we miss their absence? Answer is yes, we miss their absence. We miss their wisdom. We miss their, strategy wisdom to put strategies in place and so forth. On that, I'll agree with you. But otherwise, you see, we are the largest party in Delhi. Yes, we have lost, but that does mean that, everything was wrong. Our vote share has gone up. And we will cooperate with them if they are doing the work. And if they don't cooperate, if they don't deliver on infrastructure, pollution, water, and so on and so forth, we will play the role of a very responsible, very active opposition party. That's what the democracy is all about.
No, fair enough. That point is well taken. I just want to go into that vote share that you spoke about, Mr. Taneja, as well. And perhaps Tejas can come in over here because you're seeing how the vote share has panned out in this election. In seats, while there was that low base that the BJP had to start with, so any kind of up move would look strong over here. But what about the vote share and the kind of low margins that we've seen seats getting won on? What is that indicative of, Tejas, to you?
Certainly, it was a much closer contest, especially early in the day. We thought it was going to be much closer than what the final results were. So, but I'm a little surprised that it was. It has come down to this much. I was hoping this would be somewhere. I was expecting it to be somewhere between 10 to 20 at least that the BJP would have got. Because remember, coming from number 3 to trying to get at least 35, 36 seats, it's difficult for any party. Let's be honest here. And this is a 2-time chief minister trying for the 3rd time. He has certain advantages which the BJP will not have on the ground. Plus, there was some kind of, call it freebie, call it, welfare schemes. But at the end of the day, there was a sentiment that the people of Delhi were, appreciating the work of, Arvind Kejriwal. And very smartly, what Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party did was that, ठीक है आप लोकसभा इलेक्शन के लिए आप मोदी जी के लिए वोट कीजिए, नो प्रॉब्लम, लेकिन जब असेंबली इलेक्शन आता है तब हमारे लिए वोट कीजिए. And that's exactly what happened. BJP won 7 out of 7 during the Lok Sabha elections, did fantastically well. Remember, these are the same voters. Many of them are the same voters who are voting for BJP at the center and Arvind Kejriwal, in the assembly elections. I think the BJP will have to really think about this, because 22 years is a long time for the BJP not to have cracked this jinx. And somewhere it lies, perhaps in the party leadership being the one face. I would perhaps one of the reasons would be that one face who could really, be a match to Arvind Kejriwal, which the opposition at the central level does not have. So I think it's a combination of many factors. Difficult to pinpoint exactly what are the factors which go against the BJP, but certainly not having a face.
Mr. Taneja,
When you have such a
yes,
strong face like Arvind Kejriwal,
yes,
it perhaps does make a difference.
it does make a difference. And like the examples that are being cited by Mr. Taneja himself, they've got good things going. They have created leaders, and they seem to have created the regional size and strength of those leaders as well. But perhaps that was what was missing in Delhi, and they had a price to pay for it. But Mr. Taneja, if what AAP has done in Delhi this time, I'm wondering what are the kind of lessons you're walking away with? Just like Tejas is wondering, the electorate clearly has opted for the kind of development agenda that AAP has laid out, whether it's mohalla clinics, whether it's better schools, the free transport for women and the like. You call them freebies, but it seems like people have endorsed it. The people seem to be saying that this is their expectation of Achhe Din, not Shaheen Bagh. What are the lessons you're taking away from this election?
No. First of all, Shaheen Bagh was their agenda. They created Shaheen Bagh, not us. They, together with the Congress party, they created Shaheen Bagh. So don't bring us into the Shaheen Bagh debate. Now, the point is that if education, like they claim that they have done something which the entire world is basically, descending to Delhi and trying to learn from them, education, there is no truth in it. Otherwise, why Manish Sisodia was struggle? He had to struggle for every single vote. He couldn't leave his constituency even for a second. That is the reality. Mohalla clinic. I mean, you are such a large channel. Just go and check yourself how many, mohalla clinics are actually there. The same goes for buses and Wi-Fi. You see, there is a difference. Being a responsible and a large party, we can't really, we can't make false promises. We can't release false advertisement. Delhi is a rich state, but that does mean that you use the money, which actually is collected by the center. You use that money just for, burn on advertisements and make false promises worth billions and billions and billions. That's what they did. And it seems it worked. Now, the point here is that, being a responsible party, we can't do that. We are not going to promise something which we know that will not be able to walk. So we talk only what we are able to walk. We are a serious party, responsible party. There are many things small parties like AAM can do, because one-man party is only one man who matters. There is not a political party. Technically speaking, Aam Aadmi Party is a one gentleman who owns it. So, unlike the Bharatiya Janata Party, so the comparison is not fair. We did to the best of our expertise, our knowledge, our commitment. Our commitment is for development. If they are doing work for the development, we will support them. If they don't, we will oppose them. It's very simple. Delhi today is in a very bad state. We can't breathe. There is no drinkable water. There are no roads practically. There are no hospitals practically.
But like I keep repeating, now the people have voted for the Aam Aadmi Party, and overwhelmingly at that. So in a certain sense, they do believe that the Aam Aadmi Party can deliver. But now the question also is, and Nilanjan, this is to you, as a party, Aam Aadmi Party, do you think it could pose a challenge to the BJP anywhere outside Delhi at this stage? They tried to make inroads in Punjab, in Goa, in Uttar Pradesh. None of it has worked, and yet it has managed to work its magic in Delhi. Do you think Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia could make another attempt after this scintillating victory? And if so, where do you think their best chances are?
I mean, look, I think they had at one point, pushed into Punjab, right? And today, that doesn't seem like it's yielding dividends. Never say never. I think the kind of politics that we're seeing for AAP vis-a-vis Delhi, as I started my comments with, is very unique. Delhi is an exceptional place. It's a city-state, right? That is not true of many of these sort of larger states. I do think, however, while they may not have the same kind of aura outside of Delhi, the idea of being able to play popular welfare schemes, a charismatic leader like Arvind Kejriwal, and resisting the temptation to play into the hands of the BJP vis-a-vis sort of Hindu-Muslim polarization or some such thing. I think that is a blueprint that whether the AAP takes it on or another regional party takes it on or a conglomeration which includes AAP takes it on, it is a blueprint that is actually quite challenging for the BJP. Because once the identity-based polarization is not playing,
yes,
then people are likely to look back at things like delivery, like
yes,
services,
yes,
and that is where, a lot of these regional leaders, the charismatic leaders, they have governance credentials.
yes.
They really do have, a way of defeating the BJP. So I think if AAP plays that, they can actually extend out of Delhi. But, as of right now, I don't think they have the cadre actually to do it.
Tejas, I want to take this to you. Would you imagine AAP as a threat outside Delhi to the BJP if it carries forth this kind of development and the kind of issues that it brought forth in Delhi? Do you think there is a model over here that can get replicated?
I think certainly the policies, the schemes are something which other political entities, the chief ministers need to look at. Is it really a freebie? Is it really helping the state? Is it a welfare scheme? That they need to decide on. But can the AAP really expand? I think it would be wiser for Arvind Kejriwal to not repeat the same mistakes he made earlier. Remember, he went to Punjab, did not really succeed. He went to Goa, no opening there at all. Came to Maharashtra, nothing really happened there also. I think what happens really is people do see him as a Delhi centric leader. I think that is an image which is going to be extremely difficult for him to easily at this point of time change into a national figure as such. Just as Mamata Banerjee is seen as a regionalistic leader from West Bengal, likewise Arvind Kejriwal is seen in the same metal. So I think the Arvind Kejriwal should not make that mistake of trying to expand, because when he does that, the rhetoric, his own rhetoric increases, his own dramatics we have seen in the past also increase, and that does not really help the party. What really did help was that for the last 2 years he has been much quieter, much calmer, and that seems to have brought the trust back of the people in Delhi that he's not the anarchist that he claimed to be in the past. He's a change man.
Correct.
So I think his
there might have been an image correction as well that might have been employed, and that has clearly worked as a strategy, if at all you can call it that. But of course, there are strategies at work. The BJP had its own, and that perhaps hasn't worked this time around. So in all humility, one would hope that the BJP takes away strong lessons and brings back the focus on the development agenda that we always have known the party for. I want to thank Mr. Taneja, Tejas, as well as Nilanjan for joining us on this edition of India Development Debate. Thanks very much for joining us.